Hello all, Arigato here for Oni in the Garden, and we're going to start with the apple tree today. It's looking pretty decent. No signs of aphids or anything like that. I'm not getting a huge amount of growth like I would have hoped for, but I'm also not seeing any aphids or anything nasty. Did just pick off a snail, and I see a couple more on there. I'm not too worried about them. Come over here to the partridge peas, and they're definitely moving along. I want to come through here with the trimmer when it's not so, wet, and trim everything back, including those. But those partridge peas look like they are mature enough so that they can be able to actually plant out self-sowing. The marigolds, the one blossom is kind of gone, and I really need to get in here and pull the leaves and stems and such off of that bush before it decides to actually bush up again. The additions seem to be growing in very nicely. This is the first one over here, so we'll get around to the other ones. And it looks like it's starting to bush out a little bit and spread, which is what I'm hoping for. Over here in the bell peppers, definite flowers on quite a few of the plants. So maybe something, maybe. Of course, I've had a few flowers before. I've had buds, and nothing's come of it thus far, so we'll see what happens. Strawberries 1 and 2 doing quite nicely. A little yellowing, a little browning around the edges, but some of that's due to the heat, some of it's due to just some water issues. I do need to move those though. The potatoes, you can see all sorts of lovely new growth on both of them now, which is really nice. It's been so wet, I haven't been able to properly spray for aphids though, so that's why this looks as bad as it does. It's not aphid damage, but slugs or snails, possibly caterpillars, have gotten in there and they've started chewing on some of the leaves. You can see that one right there. It's in bad condition, but for the most part it looks pretty decent. So there's that. All the strawberries are basically standing up really tall and proud, so huzzah. I've got another volunteer plant, whatever that is, starting to come in really nicely. I don't know what half these are. I should start asking. On the tomato, that's a cluster. That's a cluster. That's a cluster of flowers. And another 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 cluster of flowers. So hopefully some of these... Oh, hey, look at that. There's another cluster of actual tomatoes. That has no interruption. So, over here, I haven't been able to spray for aphids, and it is starting to show. Some of the plants are definitely having curled leaves, wilted kind of structures. Some of them are looking okay, others are just not looking great. This cucumber is it a cucumber? I don't think it's a cucumber. I think it's another muskmelon. Interesting. So if you look right there, that looks like a melon. Interesting. Okay. I do see several cucumbers that do need to come down. Got 2 in the shot there. And one pretty good sized one. I think it's in the shot. Yeah, there it is. So lots and lots of growth going on. I don't see any, I don't see any more butternut squashes coming in. Need to check on the one that's actually I saw earlier in the garden. Where is that? There it is. Need to put some straw underneath that so it doesn't run into problems. The garden itself is starting to thin, mainly because oh, is that what happened? Okay. Well, I haven't been home for a couple of days. My church was doing some aid work down in the Westlaco area, and so I did not see that the muskmelon has pulled itself free from its anchors. I should probably have zip tied it. Oh well. I'll get that back up here in a little bit. But there's another cucumber. So, yeah, I'm seeing all sorts of lovely growth in here. Not a lot of what I really want. But, you know what? I want to take any and all of it that I can. Just because I need any and all of it. So that's really good. It has been raining pretty much non-stop for the last 3 days. So come over here, take a look at the blueberry. There we go. Not doing a lot, but it's not dead. And we're gonna look at the blackberry as well. It's I see some new growth in there, and that's what really matters to me. There. See that spike right there? That's all new growth. That thing's a very mean blackberry, but as long as it's producing growth for now, I figure 2 to 3 years before it actually produces any fruit. But yeah, that's where the garden sits. Actually, let me go show you some of the other, I guess we'll call them ornamentals that I put in. Here we go. This one is definitely doing better than its brother over by the mailbox. I'm starting to see some vining, definite signs of new growth, and expansion. So it's getting out there, doing its thing, which is good. This thing, I hope that it's actually one of those ones that'll self-spread, and that the flowers, which are very pretty when you can see them, they flower mid-morning, midday, basically. So, very pretty. I hope it expands and grows out. The plant itself looks very healthy. And then here we have the other one of these vining things. Now, I was told full sunlight. I don't think this is quite ready for full sunlight. But it's doing its thing. It's got the mimosa next to it, so hopefully we get some growth out of that. But yeah, that's where everything sits. Y'all have yourselves a good one.